The former Labour leader joined thousands of other protesters outside No. 10 today, to urge the Prime Minister and other G7 nations to support Palestinian refugees. The demonstrators gathered in London and marched to Downing Street, as they called for an end to British complicity in Israel's war crimes. Mr. Corbyn addressed the cheering crowds and appealed to the G7 to intervene in Palestine, even though the world leaders are currently meeting in Cornwall, over 250 miles away from London. The protest was organised by the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, PSC, and supported by fellow pressure groups, including Friends of Al-Aqsa, Palestinian Forum in Britain, Stop the War Coalition, Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament and the Muslim Association of Britain. Photos from the demonstrations show people holding placards reading Free Palestine and Sanctions on Israel. The crowds also proudly waved the Palestinian flag, with the colors heavily dominating the crowds. Mr. Corbyn joined the protest to show his support for the cause and gave a rallying address to the crowd. He said, "We are coming together because we are united in our support for the Palestinian people. We are here to support the Palestinian people whether we are Jewish, Hindu, Muslim, Christian or no faith. Our unity is a human unity." He stated that the world is facing a human rights crisis, and called for the G7 to cease supporting more arms and more wars and instead support the people who are up against it and to end the human rights abuses. The Labour MP added that he was proud to include recognizing Palestine as a state in the 2019 Labour manifesto, concluding that we must stand together for the freedom for the people of Palestine. A PSC spokesman also called on the G7 to intervene and pointed out the member states are the biggest suppliers of arms and military technology to the Israeli state, which are vital in enforcing Israel's regime of oppression. He added, the demonstration also follows a series of 3 emergency protests which took place in May in response to Israel's escalation of its assaults against Palestinians across the region. These increased violations of Palestinian rights occurred in the context of more than 70 years of dispossession and ethnic cleansing, and the imposition of a system of rule that Human Rights Watch recently concurred amounts to the crime of apartheid. Today's protest is the latest in a series of pro-Palestine rallies that have taken place in the capital in recent weeks, following last month's Israel-Hamas conflict.